Hey guys, welcome back, and in today's video we'll be comparing the Redmi Note 8 Pro to its little brother, the Redmi Note 8. So both these smartphones are quite closely related, both in terms of the specifications, the features, and even the overall experience in day-to-day life, but we'll be comparing all those aspects in detail to let you know which one is the better pick for you and why you should be going for the same. This is Sandeep, you're watching XDA TV. Now let's get this video started. So let's start this comparison by talking about possibly the most tangible differentiating factor between the two, and that's definitely the design itself. Now the Note 8 which I have here is kind of using the tried and tested design that was used on the Note 7 series. You can say that this is Note 7 Pro on steroids, considering that it has a few extra cameras and slight tweaks to the design, but the overall philosophy of the design is pretty much the same. And while that's good, it doesn't quite have the same level of premiumness or the same premium feel that the Note 8 Pro has. So this borrows a thing or two from the Mi A3 in respect to the curved sides. So it's a four-way curved side. You have more steeply curved edges at the left and right, but there's also a slight curve at the top and bottom, and this overall helps the handling quite a bit, and it doesn't feel as big as it actually is. In fact, it's actually bigger than the Note 8, but yet it actually feels a tad bit slimmer and smaller, if you will, because of the way that the back curves and because of the way that it fits in your palm. So overall handling and overall fit, finish, and even the feel is better on the Note 8 Pro. In fact, it's even a bit thicker and it's also a bit heavier, but the weight distribution and everything is bang on this, so it does feel better in your hand as well. Now moving on to the other aspect, which are the screens. You get a 6.3 inch 1080p plus screen on the Note 8, while you get a 6.5 inch 1080p plus panel on the Note 8 Pro. There's no AMOLED here, but then even if you put these two side by side, you would immediately notice that the brightness and contrast are immediately better on the Note 8 Pro compared to the Note 8, and that is a big sort of step, especially for Xiaomi, considering most of their smartphones tend to get a bit faded or washed out under direct sunlight, and the Note 8 Pro, it doesn't get affected as much as the Note 8 in that respect. But in terms of the screen size and in terms of sharpness, etc., they are pretty much identical. It's just like I said, in terms of contrast and brightness, that I do notice a difference, and this is better. Now in terms of the different storage variants that you get a 4+64 and 6+128GB variant on the Redmi Note 8, while you get three variants on the Note 8 Pro, basically a 6+64, 6+128, and an 8+128GB higher end variant as well. Regardless of which smartphone you go for, you get a 2+1 slot where you have 2 nano SIMs with 4G LTE support and a dedicated micro SD card slot. So this is the first time on the Note series that any phone is actually coming with a dedicated micro SD card slot, and you also have to keep in mind that these features are kind of limited to India, because the Note 8 Pro, for example, it comes in China with NFC, but it has a hybrid dual SIM slot, but you're missing NFC on the Indian variant, but you do get a dedicated micro SD card slot. Now in terms of the processor that's powering these devices, you get a Snapdragon 665 chipset, an octa-core chipset on the Redmi Note 8, while you get a MediaTek Helio G90 octa-core chipset on the Redmi Note 8 Pro. Now the G90T is excellent when it comes to the gaming and when it comes to performing, multitasking, etc. But there is one advantage which the Note 8 has because it's using a Snapdragon processor, and that is in terms of Google Camera or Gcam support, and we should be talking about this pretty soon as well. Now in terms of the battery life, there's a 4500 mAh battery on the Redmi Note 8 Pro, which is the first time that they're seeing a battery bump in a long time on the Note series, while the Note 8 sticks to 4000 mAh battery. Now in terms of the screen sizes, there's a slight difference. So the overall battery life is kind of extended by an hour or so, I would say, on the Note 8 Pro compared to the Note 8. Considering that the Note 8 itself is great in terms of battery life, I would say that it's not a huge difference, but for some power users especially who game quite a bit, I guess, or who perform heavy tasks, this could be a difference and a game changer. Regardless of the battery life itself, in terms of charging speeds, both these support 18 watt charging speeds, and they also come with 18 watt chargers out of the box. So the other differentiating factor is in terms of the cameras, and while both of these phones pack quad camera setups at the back, which comprise of 8 megapixel ultra wide angle f2.2 camera and two 2 megapixel sensors, one of which is a depth sensor and the other one which is a macro sensor, and both with f2.4 aperture, the primary camera is what differs mainly at the back, where you have a 48 megapixel Samsung GM2 sensor. It's a half-inch sensor with 0.8 micron pixel size and f1.8 aperture, while you have a 64 megapixel Samsung GW1 sensor, which is a 1 by 1.72 inch sensor size, again 0.8 micron pixel size and f1.89 aperture. Now both of these are great in terms of the camera performance and everything like that through the stock camera itself, but like I mentioned earlier, the benefit of having a Snapdragon chipset is the ability to add Gcam mode or Google camera, and hence improve the quality by a huge margin. Now if you are comparing the stock camera of both, I would say Note 8 Pro is kind of better at that, but then if you're actually comparing the results from Gcam, then the Note 8 is kind of amazing. And while we may still see an optimized version for the MediaTek chipset and the Note 8 Pro itself, it may take a while, but currently if you're planning to get it and get the best image quality, installing Gcam on the Note 8 will kind of give you better results than the Note 8 Pro as well. But of course that only means using the primary camera. If you want to use the ultra wide or macro cameras, you again have to resort to the stock camera app itself. Now up front also you have the selfie cameras, which are again different. You get a 20 megapixel f2 sensor on the Redmi Note 8 Pro, while you get a 13 megapixel f2 sensor on the Note 8. In terms of quality, these two are not too far apart, but again Gcam here too helps it and makes it much better. There's also a last and final change in terms of the camera setup, where the Note 8 Pro has the LED flash quite close to the macro camera, and that helps when you're kind of getting really close to the subject or object, and when the shadow falls on, you can actually use the light to fill in the subject object and capture a much better lit image. Overall, both these smartphones are really solid offerings at their price points. I mean, the Note 8 is available at a starting price of rupees 9,999, which is basically around $140, and considering what it offers, that's amazing value for money. The Note 8 Pro, on the other hand, will cost you around $210 starting price, and there's also a secondary model available, the 6 plus 128GB for the Note 8, which is around $180. Now, if you're someone who's actually looking for a great camera experience along with fairly good optimization, speed and all those things, then I would say that the Note 8 is good enough for you, and you end up spending lesser on that and you still get a great experience, considering how this is essentially an upgraded version, or like I said, Note 7 Pro on steroids, but yet available at the price where the Redmi Note 7 was available earlier. So the Note 8 is available at the same price, but packs in so much more features, so much more advancements, etc. And it's missing one key feature which I actually forgot to tell earlier, which is the UFS 2.1 storage, and that is one factor which I would say helps the Redmi Note 8 Pro, especially in terms of saving those large file sizes, whereas the Note 8 takes quite a bit of time, especially to save the 48 megapixel files. But regardless, if you want something that's an all-in-one solution with no compromises whatsoever in terms of performance, battery, display, etc., then I would say that the Note 8 Pro is the one for you. But if you're looking for just a good camera phone with all-round other features, then I would say Note 8 is better. But yeah, if you're looking for something with no compromises, then I would suggest paying that extra amount of money and spending $210 on getting the Redmi Note 8 Pro. That's it for this video, guys. We hope you liked it. Please do hit the subscribe button if you liked it, and also give us a thumbs up, and also do check out my channel Revetless for more videos like this. Thanks for watching. See you again in the next one.